Merci. Hey, fantastic. Merci. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Tatiana, for that introduction. Wow, it's great to be here. Alongside, let me tell you, this time last year, I was at the after party for this event. There doesn't need to be an after party at this event. This is the party. We don't need an after party. But I was there because Ariela Kayabaga had invited me. Thank you, Ariel, for inviting me. Marjorie Michel, all the members of our great government caucus. Thank you, Sandy Duberville, for that incredible rendition of our national anthem. And particularly, thank you, Dr. Jean Augustine, who in 1995 first stood in the House of Commons to recognize February as Black History Month in Canada. Still going strong. This year, the 30th anniversary, gathering in a place that is dedicated to our shared story as Canadians. But let me say at the outset, it's a story that must reckon with both the shadow and the light. The challenges of Black history are not chapters we can consign to another country's past. Slavery existed here, in New France, in the Maritimes, in the households of the powerful. And when slavery ended, segregation did not. In Nova Scotia, in Ontario, across this country, Black Canadians were refused service, denied housing, separated in schools and churches, all of this within living memory. Africville was razed, doors were closed, the full weight of citizenship, the full privileges of citizenship were withheld. And yet, against this current, Black Canadians built. The exhibits in this museum tell part of that story. The No. 2 Construction Battalion. And let me give a shout out to Russell and the Black Cultural Center. Yeah. For the challenge coin commemorating the No. 2 Construction Battalion, commemorating Black history told in the region, in the center of much of that history, and we look forward to supporting that, Russell, on that journey going forward. I speak as well of Kay Livingston, the driving force behind creating the first National Black Women's Congress in 1973. Living memory for me, not for all of you, but living memory for me. Providing a national forum to advance the cause of Black women. Et je parle de Carrie Best, une journaliste qui a cofondé en 1946 un des premiers journaux de la Nouvelle-Écosse appartenant à des Noirs, dans le but d'offrir une plateforme qui amplifie les voix marginalisées et qui a milité contre la discrimination raciale. Black Canadians have helped write every chapter of Canada's story. They have served as mayors, as MPs, speakers of the House, as senators, as cabinet ministers, as our Governor General. But the ceilings that these individuals had to break were not broken by accident. They weren't broken due to benevolence. They were broken because of leadership, leaders throughout our history that were determined that their democracy should reflect our country. Le Canada est sous son meilleur jour. quand ses représentants sont le reflet de sa population. Non pas comme un symbole, mais comme une véritable force. Non pas comme une exception, mais comme un élément essentiel. Oui. Et c'est notre responsabilité en tant que gouvernement et notre opportunité en tant que Canadiens. Confederation made a founding choice of accommodation over assimilation, of partnership over domination, of building together over pulling apart. That founding in 1867 was imperfect. It excluded too many. It was built in part on the dispossession of and the broken treaties with Indigenous peoples. But that founding also contained a fundamental insight in Canada that unity does not require uniformity, that we can share a country without conforming to a single identity, that our differences, honestly acknowledged, respectfully navigated, are a source of strength. And that choice, that spirit, it echoes down through our history. It echoes down to choices made by newcomers from every corner of the world that came to Canada to make it their home. The choices made by each generation determined to keep on building, not on blood or soil, but on something more demanding and more durable. A shared commitment to live together, to accommodate differences for the pursuit of the common good. And with each of those choices, Canada has become richer, more inclusive, and fairer. Et l'une des grandes forces du Canada, c'est que c'est un pays extraordinaire pour les gens ordinaires. Oui, nous recherchons l'unité, mais pas l'uniformité. Notre diversité n'est pas un problème à résoudre, c'est une force à célébrer. Et les Canadiens reconnaissent la valeur des unes dans les autres, à leur potentiel infini de faire de ce beau et grand pays un endroit encore meilleur. Mes chers amis, l'histoire est ponctuée des longues périodes où ces valeurs pouvaient briller sans être mises en question. Mais ce n'est pas le cas aujourd'hui. We can't take these values for granted at this point in our history. Il faut se battre pour nos valeurs. We must fight for our values. Ce que nous faisons, et les Canadiens et Canadiennes sont prêts à le faire aussi. We will fight for our values because fundamental to Canada's promise is fairness, and that everyone who works hard will have the same opportunity to succeed. Canada's new government is working to deliver that promise, to build a country that empowers Black Canadians with more opportunities, greater security, more prosperity. And you know, there's another truth. Despite the talent and ambition within Black communities, Black Canadians are underrepresented as business owners. There's much we need to do to fix that. But it's the reason why we have renewed the Black Entrepreneurship Program to provide economic opportunities. $190 million to ensure access to capital, resources, mentorships, so that Black-owned businesses can start, scale, and create high-paying careers in those communities. 24,000 Black entrepreneurs have already gained access to mentorship, to training and funding. En plus de favoriser l'inclusion économique, nous renforçons les communautés en éliminant les obstacles aux soins de santé, En octobre, par exemple, nous avons versé près de 3 millions de dollars à des initiatives communautaires dirigées par des personnes noires qui soutiennent la santé mentale et le bien-être des Canadiens et Canadiennes noirs. Friends, we gather tonight to mark the start of Black History Month, to mark progress, not to declare victory. Inequalities persist. Today, nearly 1 in 3 Black Canadians, 1 in 3 Black Canadians struggles with food insecurity. And that's why we are protecting essential programs, childcare, dental care, farmer care, the National School Food Program. That's why last week we launched the new Canada Groceries and Essential Benefit, delivering hundreds, over thousands of dollars into the bank accounts of more than 12 million Canadians. Because we know, this room knows, we know that our economy is strongest when it supports everyone, when it empowers all Canadians to get ahead. Viola Desmond, Lincoln Alexander, Rosemary Brown, Kay Livingstone, Carrie Best, le 2e bataillon de construction. Bien que leurs histoires différentes, elles ont toutes un point commun. Ces personnes se sont toutes battues pour bâtir un Canada meilleur, sans aucune raison de croire qu'elles seraient récompensées de leur vivant. En effet, la plupart ne l'ont jamais été. Le mois de l'histoire des Noirs est une façon de corriger cette injustice et d'accorder à ces Canadiens et Canadiennes la reconnaissance qu'ils méritent car ils ont contribué à écrire l'histoire de notre nation. Ouais. The history of Black Canadians, sadly, the history is one of injustice met with resilience, of exclusion answered with excellence, of relentless progress earned through perseverance, carried forward by opening doors for so many to follow. A history perhaps best spoken by Kay Livingstone. Onward and upward, lifting as we climb. Thank you. Merci. Thank you for including me in this mission. This mission we take together. Onwards, upward. Together we climb. Merci beaucoup. Merci.